How's it going? I'm Jay Escobar, escobarj.com. This video is Understand, Then Understood. And this principle comes from Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm going to go ahead and post a link to his book down in the description below. So if you'd like to go check that out, click the link below and it'll take you to Amazon. You can buy it there. Now, if you haven't seen my first video on this topic, I did a first video on this topic, and I'll also include that in the link description. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll go ahead and post it right here now, and you can check that out. And I basically gave a good overview as to what understanding first is and how to then be understood. And today what I want to talk about, and this is going to be a new little mini series on this entire topic to begin with, and what I want to talk about today is going to be empathy and empathetic listening. And I want to start off with a quote shared from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People from Stephen Covey. He says, "The essence of empathetic listening is not that you agree with someone." That's key here. You don't have to agree with someone to empathetically listen to them. So, continuing on, the essence of empathetic listening is not that you agree with someone, it's that you fully, deeply understand that person, emotionally as well as intellectually. So, you can be an empathetic listener and understand somebody else's point of view, and you can also not agree with that point of view, but you can listen with your heart and be present in the moment and put yourself in their shoes in the moment. And that's the next point that I want to make, is you need to listen with your heart. And this is it's difficult to do, especially with loved ones and especially with people that mean a lot to you, because there may be some resentments in the past, or you may not agree with someone's point of view fully, or maybe you just don't feel like you have the time to fully listen and engage with where they're coming from, so you try and just throw out advice or throw something out just to kind of deflect or not deal with the real root of the problem. And another reason why listening with your heart is so difficult is because it requires you to actively listen with your brain, interpret the words that are being said. Then, this is really important here, is then to shed your ego and feel where the words are coming from before you jump to any conclusions or you give any advice. And the key there is shedding your ego and then feeling where the words are coming from. Because when you feel where the words are coming from, you can listen to the words somebody's saying and repeat certain things back to them, and on a superficial level they might feel like you heard them, but they may not feel like you really understood their point of view or their position. So by shedding your ego and feeling where the words are coming from, where the intent is coming from, that is key in empathetic listening. And what you'll notice when you do this is that practicing this concept will cause you to feel vulnerable. And the reason why it'll make you feel vulnerable is because it opens you up to be influenced by the other person's point of view. And that's key, that's important, because again, like in Stephen Covey's first quote, the essence of empathetic listening is not that you agree with someone. So you may be influenced and you may feel vulnerable because you're putting yourself in their shoes, but that is key in order to really decipher the best outcome, or to give the best either advice or have the best solution to find a win-win situation. And there's another quote that Stephen Covey says, and he says, "In order to have influence, you must be influenced." So basically, if you want to be able to have influence in your life, you have to be vulnerable and you have to open yourself up to be influenced first. And that allows you to make the best decision possible. And one thing that I struggle with, because this is something that I struggle with, mainly with people who are close to me. And I think the reason why it's harder with people close to you is because you already have emotions engaged. You already have past emotions with these people because they mean something to you. So there's a lot higher stakes. If you're dealing with a colleague or somebody at work or a just a random person on the street or anybody else that you don't necessarily care about, it's a little easier to shed your ego and put yourself in their shoes. But especially, I find this to be a little bit more difficult for me personally with personal people who are close to me, because I may feel very passionately one way about something. And it's very hard when you're passionate about something or you have a strong opinion about something and the other person doesn't, and that person is close to you, especially if it's like a spouse or a parent. It can be very, very difficult to shed your ego and to put yourself in their shoes and to look at things from their point of view. So what I found that really helps me is two things. First, the art of meditation and being present in the moment, learning how to be present in the moment, learning consciousness, awareness, and giving yourself the time to reflect and to be in your thoughts and feel and hear and see in the present moment for a certain amount of time every single day. I do this for 10 minutes every single day, and it really sets the tone for the rest of my day. And the second thing is, when or if you feel resentment or negative energy as you're listening to somebody, and this is kind of more in the trenches when you're in the midst of conversations, you're having trouble. If you feel that resentment or negative energy as you're listening to the other person's point of view, just take a second, because if you're feeling that resentment or negative energy, it's very, very difficult to shed your ego and put yourself in their shoes. So, in order to counteract that, what I want you to do is just pause for a moment. You can even tell them, here, I just pause for a second. Okay? And then take a few deep breaths, and not just any deep breaths. You can just, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about relaxing, taking a very deep breath through the bottom of your belly. And the reason why you want to breathe deeply through the bottom of your belly is because that is where your emotional center is in your what is the word I'm looking for? Is in your diaphragm area. That is your emotional center, right below your heart. And when you breathe through your belly, that allows you to fully feel your emotions and what emotions and negative energy or any energy that you're feeling in the moment. It can work with positive energy too. You can actually feel more euphoric by breathing through your belly if you're feeling good. But by doing this and breathing through the bottom of your belly and holding it there for a brief moment and then filling your chest up after your belly is full, and what you need to do is you need to let yourself feel the negative emotion through your entire body. That's what happens when you breathe through your belly. You breathe through your belly, and you'll notice that when you exhale, it'll send, if you do it right, it'll send a chill through the back of your spine up to the top of your neck and through your head. And that's what you want. You want to be able to feel those chills or feel the energy radiate through your entire body from your top of your head to the bottom of your toes. And by breathing through your core and your belly like a bellows, that will allow you to feel that negative emotion at the time through your entire body. And you need to pause and just do this until you feel like you can listen to the other person's point of view. And what that'll do is it'll help you move through and it'll help you move past that negative energy. And then once you move past the negative energy, and that can actually happen pretty quickly, you'll notice, that will allow you to open up and to empathize with the other person's point of view. And I know that this is something that I've personally struggled with. It's definitely easier said than done, especially when you're in the flame of the battle. You're talking with somebody and you're caught up in the conversation. It's hard to just catch yourself in the moment, think, recognize consciousness, be present in the moment, and then just say, okay, I need to pause for a second. And you can breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. You can breathe through your nose and out through your nose. But the point is you want to push your inhale through the bottom of your belly and expand your belly as far as you can, and then exhale and just allow your body to feel that energy and get through and to basically what you're doing is you're acknowledging the negative energy. So, and that's just a little tip. That's not in Stephen Covey's book. That's just the tip that I found that's helped me to really get my ego out of the game, out of the conversation, or out of my head, and really just put myself in the other person's shoes. And that's what will allow you to be present in the moment and allow you to empathize with the other person's situation. And to once you have to have influence, you must be influenced first, as Stephen Covey says. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you'd like some help with this topic, if you have any questions about understanding first and then be understood, you can email me on my website, escobarj.com. If you'd like to book a coaching session with me, if you're really struggling with this topic or this concept, or you're struggling in life in general, you can send me an email with a few paragraphs or book a coaching session. I'd be happy to help you with any situation that you're going through. And at the very least, do me a favor. Hit the little subscribe button and then share this with your friends and family on any social media platform. My purpose is to share this information, to share my experience, and to give as much as I possibly can to the world and to help millions and millions of people. And helping me do that by sharing with your friends and family will help the word get out. So, that being said, I hope that you are always learning, always growing, and always pushing forward. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.